So I made my brother's carry holsters, and I was talking to my other brother from another mother, Chuck. He said he had a 10mm BEARGUN 1911 he wanted a chest holster for, so that's what we're fixing to do. So what we're going to do, we are going to make another one. I'm going to show you how I did that to get to this point here. This is 2 pieces of leather bonded together. It's lined with a soft leather, like a 1 to 2 ounce leather, and then this is about a 5 or 6 ounce veg tan leather. This is ready for me to sew the welt in and sew the straps on and ready to go. But I'm going to show you how we get to that point. What we did was we made a pattern. And I like to use this paper that the leather comes in from Weaver Leather. I get all my leather from Weaver. And we drew out our pattern. I used one of the Hellhound leather to get the bottom piece, and then I just worked around until I figured out where I wanted this 1911, how I wanted to do this. I will cut a welt, put a welt in here, sew that down. I like to use a welt because it stiffens up the holster, and then we just we worked this until we got the right what we needed. So we'll use this pattern. We'll lay out our, pick a nice spot on our leather we want to use. We'll lay that out. We'll cut this pattern out, and then we'll lay it on the 1 to 2 ounce leather for the liner. Always make sure, like I know I want this holster to fold up this way, so make sure you place it down that way so you get the finished side of the leather as opposed to the flesh side. Double check, that looks good. And you can do this a few ways. Now, if I do it on the back, I'll use a pen, and then I'll trace that and cut that. So here is another holster pattern. And maybe I'll do a giveaway. I hit 505 subs the other day, which I'm very thankful for. It's about 4 months, I guess, of trying to do some videos and getting that out. But maybe I'll do a 1,000 sub giveaway or something, and do a field holster or something like that. You guys let me know in the comments. That'd be great. So I'm going to put my cutting board up here, and we're going to cut this out. So whenever I get these tight radiuses, I like to use some punch on them. I always do these with a brand new blade as well. I like to use a nice sharp blade when I'm cutting these out. I've been watching that gal up in Canada too, that freaking Nature. Holy shit, man, that girl is really good. As for the short of time that she's been doing leather, she is wonderful. Well, shout out to her. If you haven't seen her channel, go check her out. Freaking Nature. She has invested some good money into some good equipment, sewing machine, and different things to help you work the leather. That takes a lot of time. I like doing this by hand, and I'm kind of I do a lot of it by hand because it's kind of therapeutic for me, and but it is very time consuming. I could never do this for money because you can't do this leather fast enough doing it by hand to make really any money at it, in my opinion. But okay, so there's that. Now we're gonna get the soft stuff up here. See about gluing this baby down. But before we do that, I want to mark this. We need to mark this holster where the snaps and everything are going to go. And I think we can do that just simple enough by doing this. And do I have it on here? I need to mark, yes, it is marked on here. I marked my pattern when I did that. This is cut a little larger because we'll wind up probably trimming a little when I do the finishing touches on it, then we'll be able to trim that out a little bit. But for now, I'm just going to put this right about here. All right. And the reason we want to put this in here now is so when it goes through and we fold it over and put the clamp on, we cover it up with the liner so it's not hitting the pistol. The flap we're not worried about because it's going to fold over on top. But, they're nice fasteners, and they're like the old government 45 snap holsters. So that's the center. I'm just going to hold that there, mark my 2 slots. Oh, you sucker. I'll get some bigger pliers. Little Victorinox. Yeah, nice, huh? I don't remember the model. It's a small one that's very svelte. I like these. I could never carry multi-tools till I found these Victorinox. This is nice. I love this Victorinox multi-tool. Carry it all the time now. I had a couple, 3 or 4 others that are in drawers because they're just too bulky. Victorinox, that's the way to go on the multi-tool. Okay, now with that done, we are going to take this and this is going to be our liner. Kind of want that, I think, so we'll flip it over, make sure we look okay. It's going to be inside, those spots will be all right. I don't like that. Maybe we'll flip this baby around like so. There we go. I think we'll go this route right here. All right, so here's how I do these. Okay. I am gonna trace this holster out here on this. Okay, liner. Now we want to make sure that we apply the glue to the pen edge where I marked it in pen, and we're going to cut off this excess so it's easier to deal with. Save that. That'll be good for knife sheaths. I got a lot of projects on tap. I gotta do a carry purse for my daughter. I did, and also I gotta do a radio holster for my son-in-law who's a volunteer fireman. And I got some really cool challenge coins that I want to sew in it like I've done some of my barbecue holsters. All right, so here we go. Roll this baby's out. So I don't know if you caught the first part of this video where I was talking about my 2 half-brothers I met in 2018, and then my one brother's sister's brother, Chuck, who I'm making this holster for. My other brother, Chuck, my Marine Corps brother. So it's a small world, man, but the guy that stood up in my mom and dad's wedding for my dad that raised me was Chuck's lieutenant in this police force for years. I guess he knew him for years. A small world, man. Small world. Doing that ancestry DNA stuff, man, I thought I was I didn't think there were many like me, but I'm gonna tell you what, I'm 55 years old, and there's a whole lot of people my generation who didn't know their real moms or dad, well, mostly their dads. Well, that free love bullshit of the 60s affected a lot of lives. because although I'm very glad to have been raised by the guy that raised me, because he instilled a lot of good qualities in me, I believe. I would love to have known my real father and my brothers. I feel I shorted that because they're good men too. And I think I could have just been that much better having all that plethora of good stuff, you know. Anyways, I tell it with a little comedy nowadays because it ain't worth crying over. I gained. I gained a lot. Gained a lot. Got 2 really good brothers and another Marine Corps brother that I know now. Okay, so I've decided to try this one a little differently. I've dampened this whole thing down. We're going to form it to this pistol like we want it, right where we want it. And then I'm going to figure out where I want to put the welt in. So I like the rear sights protected typically in these. That's going to be perfect, like so. Pop that open, get a grip on it. Yep, I can come up a little bit. Just a little bit right there. Rear sights still in. Yep. Okay. Forming them like this gives them a little bit of retention as well. They're harder to do when you line them, yeah, but they still work out. It's not too bad. If I do these without lining them, the definition just pops on them really nice. All right, boys and girls, we have got to let that sit. I'll probably get back to this tomorrow, so we're going to hit the old pause button and pick up tomorrow.